What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here, bringing you another album review. Today I'm going to be going over REM's 1991 album, Out of Time. First album to be released, not the year after the last one. They took a break after the Green Tour because they had been touring, solid pretty much since their formation, and they've been doing an album every year, year after year. So the band decided to take a break after the Green Tour. A shout out to Michael Pay. I think that's how you pronounce your username. Him and Michael Pay and I were talking over the comments in one of my videos, and he asked me to comment on each song. And I originally wanted to do that with my videos. I wanted to, play a little bit of each song and, make a comment on it, but because I don't have any video editing program, I wasn't able to put the songs on there. But I'm gonna go ahead and comment on each song. Michael Pay thought that would suffice. So after I do my overall review, I'll go through each song and talk about it. All right. So this album really, well, first of all, this album is their breakthrough album. It contains "Losing My Religion," which is REM's breakout song. This gave them, national attention. This song really brought to light the blooming, already, well alive indie scene in America. The grunge scene arrived around this time into the mainstream spot. And yeah, so it's a very important album. This is definitely an iconic album, and it will be going in the iconic album list. So, all right, let's go to it. For originality gets 10. REM really, they brought in a lot of country influence into this album, and I don't know if I've listened to this album so many times and I still can't decide whether I like that or not. But it's definitely original, so it gets a 10. For how much I like the music, I gave it an 8. And the reason is of the country influence that they bring into this. And on some songs it doesn't work like I want it to, and on some songs I just can't decide whether I like it or not. It's a very conflicting album for me, so I give it an 8. Production 10. Scott Litt, I've said a lot about him already. Scott Litt is probably my second favorite producer in the music that's ever in the music industry. So, flow 8.2 because of the country influence. It sometimes seems that, with this album, it really seems that sometimes REM didn't know exactly what they wanted to do with the music. With this one, it sounds like they were trying to find some sort of sound, and they were just trying some stuff. And I'm not saying that's bad or that they did it wrong or they did it badly. It's just because there's so many ideas that are involved with this album, it's really hard to get into any kind of flow. It's not difficult, I shouldn't say that. It's the flow is lacking. It's not hard to get into any kind of flow. Definitely not. The flow is lacking. So 8.2 for that. Overall, a 9.05. I'm not gonna bother with that decimal. Best song on here has to be Half World Away, because it sounds a lot like a precursor to Automatic for the People. It's a very automatic song. It's a very Automatic for the People kind of song. So that's my favorite song. The worst song on here is Country Feedback, and I'll get around to that as I go through each of these songs. So, starting with the very beginning, Radio Song. The beginning vocal line and everything about that song really reminds me of Night Swimming, especially the vocal line. I think the vocal line for the chorus of Radio Song is a lot like the vocal line for Night Swimming, a lot like the vocal line for Night Swimming. So, and then the verse is like this almost disco-ish kind of verse. It's really a really strange combination. It's a really weird song. It's got a kind of disco R&B kind of feel going to it. It's not a bad song. It's a good song, definitely. Next song is Losing My Religion. Really, I'm not gonna comment on that. I have, you know, it's REM. It's kind of like REM's Anthem. It's kind of like REM's Stairway to Heaven. So I'm not really gonna talk a lot about that song. Low is the third track, and that's a really kind of darker song. I think that heralds back to the Fables days for me. It's got this really, you know, dark organ sound behind it that Mike Mills puts on, and it gives, you know, without that organ, you know, that song is really nothing. It really, the organ on that song makes that song. It gives it this kind of dark quality, and I love the bongos that match and expand on the rhythm of the electric guitar through the song. Next song is Near Wild Heaven, and this is such a Beach Boys song. I mean, the vocal harmonies on here are just so reminiscent of the Beach Boys, and it's got this like pop sensibility to it that just screams Beach Boys, just screams Beach Boys. It's not that it's a bad thing. I love the Beach Boys, actually. It's very Beach Boys-ish. So that's Near Wild Heaven. Endgame. That's a really interesting song. When the acoustic guitar comes in, you really don't expect it doesn't really fit all that well. It kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It just doesn't sound right until Michael Stipe's vocals come in, and then it gives a kind of reinforcement to the song. Shiny Happy People. I really like that song. The string arrangement on it is, you know, absolutely beautiful. The riff, another example of Peter Buck picking a chiming guitar riff. Great, yeah, it's a great song. Belong is a little more iffy for me. I don't exactly care for the spoken word in the context of that song. So there's this kind of, you know, there are things about it that I like. The vocal harmonies really remind me of a kind of Rusted Root kind of feel, or Rusted Root vocals remind me of this song. But there's this kind of, I don't know, this kind of open high mountain kind of feel to the vocal harmonies. So that's Belong. Half a World Away, already went over that. Texarkana. You know, slide guitar when used in it, I hate, not slide guitar, steel guitar. I hate, that's something that really bothers me about country music, is steel guitar. Steel guitar, I hate steel guitar in the context of country music, so that song's just a no. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake. That's actually my least favorite song. Country Feedback starts off with this kind of steel guitar feel, and it slowly dissolves into a way better song. So that's Country Feedback. Me and Honey is a great ending track. It's a very good ending track. I think it wraps up the album really well. And while the music itself kind of seems a little more soft edge, Michael Stipe delivers these really edging, cutting vocals to the song. And it really gives it a lot of character. It really kind of contrasts and counterbalances the song. So yeah, it's definitely a great way to end the album. So, Out of Time, great album. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like. You know, if you want me to continue doing comments on each individual song, tell me so. If you didn't like what I had to say, or you think it's too long, or you didn't like how that went about, you know, leave a comment and tell me what you think. I love getting feedback. And if there's a certain album you want me to review, be sure to shoot me a PM. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. This is SirAllAboutMusic, and I'll see you guys next time.